See, when I'm looking over here, I really got to make this a little bit better. I think I can make the very best, Oh, wait. Hi, YouTube. Didn't even see you over there. In this video, I'm actually going to show you how to use Inkscape. You probably overheard me talking to myself. Let's face it, that's what we got to do sometimes.
You lie!
No, I'm just kidding. But for real, though.
Huh?
I'm going to show you how to set up borders, little overlays and things you can do like that on your stream, YouTube, whatever you want to play it on, Twitch, using Inkscape. It's actually very easy, so let's get to it.
Release the Kraken!
All right. So you just started streaming. You want to spruce it up a bit, make it look extra spicy. But you're not sure where to do this or how to do this. Well, my friend, I got something for you. This tool is game-changing, and it's free.
Yeah!
It is called Inkscape.
Wow!
Now I'm going to show you how to use it. It's actually very simple. This is kind of the more, not super in-depth, but kind of the start to just show you how to do things on Inkscape. So we're going to start by going to File. Whoops, go over to Document Properties. We're going to scroll all the way to the bottom, and you're going to choose your canvas size. I do everything at 1080p, but if you do 720, choose 720. In fact, when you select it, you'll actually see the size changes right there.
Bruh.
Right in front of us. So again, 1080p is what we're gonna do. Now, you're gonna wanna use your setup. So using OBS, I'm just gonna take a picture of like my screen and everything using just print screen. Hi. We're gonna close that down. I'm gonna copy and paste it over here.
Ew,
you see,
gross!
I use 2 computer monitors. We want to align everything to the proper canvas that we're working with. So under the x-axis, you'll hit 0, and then under the y, you'll hit 0 as well. Now, we already know the base canvas that we're working with in here is 1080p, and we want everything to be aligned properly, and we don't need this excess. Well, all I'm going to do Control-Shift-E. This is your export shortcut. I'm choosing Page. Page is because it's set for a 1080p, so it's going to cut out my second monitor perfectly. All you got to do. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Export As. I'm going to choose where to place it, and we're just going to call this Inkscape. And then I'm going to hit Export. Always make sure to do that. You have no idea how many times I was setting up my overlays and I forgot to do that step. Super annoying. What I'm going to do in here, I'm going to delete what I have there. I'm just going to drag and drop my Inkscape photo that I just did now by hitting OK. Now, over on the X and Y axis, do the same thing again, 0 and 0. So at least we have our base set up. Man, I don't know if I can stare at that face while I'm doing this.
Nope!
But we got no choice. So for moving things around and zooming. So if you scroll your mouse wheel up and down, it moves it up and down. If you hold shift, it'll go left and right. If you hold control while you're scrolling with your mouse wheel, it'll zoom in and out. So very good to know these little tricks. It'll speed up your time of working at things. Oh gosh, this is rough to look at. All right, but what we want to do is, let's say we want to have a different color border, something that'll pop a bit. So over on the left-hand side here, you're going to choose this little curves and straight lines tool. Just going to click on it, and you can zoom in as far as you want. So if you want to be exactly right where you should be, you can zoom in that far by holding control, moving the little thing around. If you hold control while you're moving your mouse around too, you'll see it kind of locks itself at certain degrees. That's because the angles and everything, there's certain angles that it's always going to lock to. So if you want to make sure you're perfectly straight, just keep doing that. I'm going to zoom in, just make sure I'm a little bit closer to the edge. This doesn't have to be perfect. I just want it to be as close as possible. We're going to just zoom in. Zoom in here, and then we're just going to connect it all the way to the top. So each time I'm just left clicking to select everything. But our drawing tool is always used under black. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over to fill and stroke, or Control Shift F. And under paint, I'm just going to choose like a yellow. So it goes H, S, V, and A. H is literally going to be all the colors. S is the spectrum. So if I move this over, it's not going to show a lot of colors because V is not selected on it either. But basically it's going to be how dark and whatnot you want to do. So again, I'm just going to choose yellow, make it 100%. The bottom one is your alpha. So if I hit 0, it's now going to be completely invisible. And as I do this, it's going to be more and more visible. But let's say you want to make it a thicker border. Super easy. Go over here to stroke style. And for width, let's just use 2. I always use 2. It's thick enough, kind of works. But Kenny, this is boring. I don't want just yellow. I want 2 separate colors. Came to the right place. I'm gonna show you how to do this super easily. So over here at stroke or stroke paint, you're gonna go just below it. There's a few options. The second one, so the first one goes flat color. Second one is gonna go linear gradient. I mean, technically you could say no paint was first, but just follow with me. So we're gonna go ahead and click on this. But right now it's doing just a yellow to clear. That's boring. Well, over on the left over here, you have create and edit gradients. If you click on this, you'll see there's a black. Let me rephrase. You'll see that there is a square and a circle. The square is the color on the left in the gradient. The circle is going to be the color on the right. So if I go ahead and just click on the color on the right, I can now change this to whatever I want. Let's do blue and yellow, or yellow and blue. Now under the alpha, I can set it so it's more and more visible. But let's say you didn't want to go left and right. You want to go up and down.
Yeah!
So you wanted the yellow on the top, blue on the bottom. Super easy. With that same tool selected for the color gradients, if you click on this, you can literally move it where you want to place it. And now as I do this, if I hold Control, we know we can lock it in. I can then choose how much yellow or blue is displayed. So if I bring this higher up, the blue is now overpowering. Maybe I want to have not a 50-50, more dominant on the yellow with slight blue on the bottom. Done deal. You're done. There's your border. Not so fast. Not so fast. There's one more thing we need to do. Well, probably a little bit more than one, but that's fine. We're going to go ahead and select the selector here in Transform Objects. I'm going to zoom out just to show what I'm doing. I'm going to click on the background. So not the little border we did, but the original picture. I'm going to hit delete. Now, very crucial, follow these next few steps. Control-Shift-E to export, and you're going to choose page. Now, the reason for this, if I set drawing, it's only going to cut out this exact image here. Then when I go back to OBS, I have to resize everything. Super annoying. If you have it set to page, it's going to keep that exact same spot on the picture. There's no editing. I'm going to show you both of these on OBS just now. So first one I'm going to do is page as the proper one. I'm going to call this Inkscape border 1. I'm going to hit export. And then I'm going to go drawing and do the same thing. I'm going to call it border 2 and export this. Now I'm going to hit plus image. Now for this one, I'm just going to call this Inkscape border 2, and I'm doing the not so perfect one first. Alex Sam, I was singing the Poke Rap. If you're wondering, you'll see it in one of my videos. So I'm going to choose Inkscape border 2 and hit OK. You'll actually see I now have to move it around to line it up to where I want it to go, just to show up, and it's not even perfect on there. Kind of annoying. Yes, I can resize it and everything. I'm going to show you a significantly better one. If you were to export it as the whole page, There is no resizing needed. We're gonna go ahead, export again, Inkscape border. Doesn't matter if I call it 1 or 2, but we already know which one we're looking for. Border 1. It's already aligned itself absolutely perfect to my little image on the side. Yeah, there's no recentering I have to do. It's just done. And it's because we use the exact same grid, if you will, 1080 or 1920 by 1080. It already knew where my image was. I drew over it. So if I were to literally just do the whole page, done. No resizing, don't have to do a lot of things. That's why I like using Page for almost everything that I do. Only time I wouldn't do Page is if it's a custom thing, but don't worry too much about that. But Kenny, I want more than just a border. I'm gonna show you how to do this. Aha! So let's show that once more. If I click on the little border here, and then I want it to be lower, again, up here, underneath where it says filters, extensions, and help, that's where you change the layering of everything. If I put it to the bottom, I can't see it. Doesn't help at all. So layers matter, especially as you're doing more. Now, if you want to have a little border, let me just show you here a quick example of my streaming setup. So you'll see around my camera, this would be the gameplay in the black background there. That'd be some gameplay. I have my little border around my camera with a little cutout, and then I have like my followers, that sort of stuff like that, who's recently followed, donation, that sort of things. Right around my picture. Although that does take a lot of space from the gameplay itself, I find that typically on that side of the screen, you're gonna have the least amount of info. Things along the very top and bottom could be your health bar and that sort of stuff. I don't like to cover it, but you might be able to come up with something pretty tasteful that would work with it. I'm gonna show you what to do here. Let's just switch back to our other view. All you need to do, if you wanted to do not something right around your picture, but along the top, using that draw straight lines and curve lines tool, just click on the top corner. And I'm just gonna make something pretty simple. It's not gonna be anything crazy. I'm just gonna eyeball it, so if it's not perfect, don't shoot me. Once you've done it and you've collected all or clicked on all the dots, right click to kind of submit it. Like before, Control-Shift-F for fill and stroke. And we are just gonna set this to yellow. Maybe you don't even want to have a border. Totally doable. If you go to stroke style, for width, hit 0 and go enter, there's no border. Maybe you just want it to be a fill in color. So imagine my picture you see here. I have the stroke, and on the inside would be the fill. I don't want to cover my face. Maybe this specific image, yes. Yeah! But super easy. Go over to fill, and if you just want a flat color, boom, you're done. But maybe you want to do something a little bit more funky. Just like before, choose linear gradient. And like I mentioned earlier, it's always going to preset it. So again, on the left side here, create and edit gradients. Furthest left is always going to be the first color. Maybe we want the same appearance. Top, middle to bottom, middle. Hold Control to make this as easy as possible. And I'm just gonna select the same colors. So if I click on that top little one, let's just zoom in a little bit more to make it easier. We're gonna go yellow, completely visible. And on the bottom one, I don't want it to be see-through by too much. We're just gonna thicken that out and maybe make it, no, I like the idea like that. And then I can move this to have more green or blue or more yellow. If I pull it all the way down, it'll be all yellow. You kind of get the idea though. We want it just to fade like that. It's not too hard, honestly. But maybe you want to do some cool rounded edges. So you want this to be more of a curve. Super easy. Select that little drawing you did, and just below the selector, you'll have this little tool here. So it's edit paths and nodes. If you click on this, I can then literally drag this however I want. Maybe I want it to be some crazy weird angle like that, or move it around like so. but I'm just gonna do a simple little tasteful bend there. Now maybe you want it to bend in multiple spots. So I just want to quickly zoom out to show you what I mean by this. Right now, if I were to pull anywhere on this line, it's gonna move the whole entire image and you can see what it's doing. I don't want to do that. Maybe I want to just pull it out in this little spot here. So say by the lock and -200. Well, if I double click, I can set an extra node. So when I pull this out, it's only going to pull out between those two nodes. Or maybe push it up. This is one way that if you had, say, your HP and it was in the top corner, now it's not going to cover it and you can still kind of have all the way across, make something look pretty cool. Again, double click, sets a new node. I can literally just do this all the way across. And you can kind of get some cool little effect there. This is up top where I would probably put like followers, alerts, donations, that sort of stuff too. So you can just write them in. So just choose a little create and edit objects, blah, blah, blah. And let's just type in follower. I'm gonna zoom in and make this a little bit easier. I'm gonna go ahead and click over here and place it in here. Very simple. If you double click on an image, let's show that once more. So the first time you click on it, it allows you to resize things. Hold shift will keep its, say, dimensions in check. Not holding shift, I can literally change how wide and tall it is, but it's not going to keep the same dimensions. We're going to work with it with a little bit larger. So you can see the little arrows kind of go side to side. If I click on it once more, there's a curved arrow. This lets you rotate an image. I wouldn't necessarily use it for right here, but let's just look over at my stream setup I have again. That's how I have it say welcome up top. I literally just angled it. Nothing too crazy. Didn't take a long time to set up. Done. Now what you can do with this, maybe you want to do some cool effect where you think it looks like there's a shadow. So if you select something to do Control C, it's going to copy exactly what you do. So let's say we had an angle and I do Control C. If I go Control V, I can now place it where I want. And I can change the color on the bottom just by clicking on it. And now there's like a neat little effect for a shadow. The font I chose might not be the perfect example with the colors that we did. If obviously we had a colored background, it's a bit easier to see it, but you kind of get the idea. Another neat effect you can do as well is, let's say I wanted to have a interesting color kind of glowing behind it. I'm gonna pick on yellow just because I'm picking on it right now. You can blur it out, which will kind of make it go further. And this is where we're gonna use our layers. We can place it behind the white and behind the black. Now there's just like this cool little glow effect happening behind it. You could change the color to whatever you want. Sure, you wanted to glow that blue color, done. Maybe you wanted a softer blue, done. Choose whatever you want, whatever you think looks cool. Let's go for a green, kind of a mix of both. There's a lot more effects you can do here. Obviously, this is not the perfect, most in-depth thing, but this shows you how you can work with it. What you can do, Control A will select everything you've done if you want to resize everything as a whole. If you didn't want to do that, you could literally select just what you've worked on and then move all of those. So if I didn't select absolutely everything and I only move this, now my green glow effect behind it with the board or the shadow, if you will, isn't moving with it. So you want to make sure you select everything. One key thing to know about this, under objects up top, you can actually group them together. So now I don't have to worry about selecting each individual layer. They've just become one layer. So now I can move the whole thing and they will always come around. I don't have to select it like that. I can literally just click on it once and then move it where I want. However, when you do this, you cannot change the blur effect. So keep in mind, You could ungroup them at this point if you needed to rework on the colors and then regroup it again. If you're unsure how to select multiple things and you didn't know that you could just kind of select all like that, click on the first image, hold shift and then click on the next layer and then the next layer after that. This way, when you group them together, you're all done. So there's a lot of different things that you can do to select multiple things, make it as easy as possible. This is not the most in-depth tour of how to use Inkscape. However, this should give you enough knowledge to create your banner, your borders, anything like that. You know what? Let me just show you. Boom. You know what? I'm going to hide my camera just for a second to show this a little bit better. That's how I made this. I actually used Inkscape to do everything here. Is this perfect? No. Gets the job done though. I kind of just wanted to show all my different social media platforms. I actually do have a Facebook now and a Discord, but that hasn't taken off much yet. There's a lot of things I'm doing, but this is just to show you things you can do. I have a much better design now since this one was made. But yes, literally, that's all there is to it. If you have any questions, comment down below. Really, that's all I wanted to show. Just how to do this is about a 25-minute video, give or take a little bit. How to use Inkscape. If there's anything else you want to see on Inkscape, just comment down below. I'll reply. I'll see what I can do to help you out. You can do so many intricate designs with this, knowing that you can move things around. You can make different lines appear. Super cool. Very powerful tool to use. And it's free. Did I mention that? But if you want to see more videos like this, please do let me know as well. Maybe I can do a full in-depth tour of how to use HitFilm Express, a free tool to making videos. I've gotten some people to use it. They're loving it. They're doing everything that they can. But I need you to start. Let me know. This is where we're going to end it. So thanks so much for watching. Like this video. Share it with a friend. Comment. You help me out so much. Till next time, everyone. Take care.